Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the academic procession, which is about to enter the hall. And please remain standing for the Australian National Anthem. You are encouraged to join in with the singing. The text is printed on page 11 of the graduation program. Please rise for the academic procession.
Australians, oh let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth of toil, our home is skirted by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gift of beauty. Let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Good afternoon and welcome to you all to another very special graduation ceremony here at the University of Adelaide. My name is Diane Davidson. I'm the Deputy Chancellor of the University of Adelaide, and it is my great pleasure to declare open this congregation convened for the purpose of conferring degrees. Distinguished guests, parents, friends, supporters, and of course graduates today. welcome to you all. Many of you have come from a very long way away, not just for the ceremony, but maybe to meet up with wider family. And I would like particularly to acknowledge the efforts and support which family give to their students throughout the course of a degree. Welcome to you all. I also wish to acknowledge the Kaurna people, the original custodians of the land on which the University of Adelaide's campuses are located, here in North Terrace, at the Waite Institute, Roseworthy and Theberton. Today is a really special day for everybody involved, including the staff here beside me, who have been part of your education one way or another. And I hope that you will take away good memories of this particular ceremony, that you celebrate for your own achievements, but you also celebrate each other's achievements. Most of you have been here for a number of years, given the degrees which you will be receiving today, and that shows a sense of commitment, and now you must have that sense of achievement. So enjoy this moment, because it's the turning point between here and the rest of your lives. We wish you well, and I look forward to meeting you all personally as we come across the stage. But now it is my great pleasure to welcome our guest speaker this afternoon, a very distinguished scientist in South Australia, Dr. Lee Anna Reid. And Dr. Reid is the fourth Chief Scientist for South Australia. And in this role, she chairs the South Australian Science Council and provides the state government with independent advice on strategies to grow the state's research capacity and to translate that research into economic and social benefit. She's also passionate about promoting education in science, technology, engineering and maths, the STEM courses we read so much about, and I'm sure she will make a comment upon that. In addition to her role as Chief Scientist, Lee Anna chairs the Cooperative Research Centre for Cell Therapy Manufacturing and is a member of the South Australian Economic Development Board and the Council of the University of South Australia. Her prior roles include being the Chief Executive Officer of the Cooperative Research Centre for Tissue Growth and Repair and the founding Managing Director of Adelaide Biotechnology Company, TGR Biosciences Proprietary Limited. She has also worked here as an academic at this university. Lee Anna's industry and research contributions in biotechnology have been recognised by appointment to a range of federal boards, including the Prime Minister's Science, Engineering and Innovation Council, as well as awards such as the South Australian of the Year in Science and Technology. She is a most distinguished contributor to South Australia's society, and I would like you to join with me in welcoming here today.
Deputy Chancellor, Deputy Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, members of staff, family and friends, and most importantly of all, to the graduates today. It's a real privilege to address you today. I am a very proud graduate of this university, and I won't tell you how long ago, but I was in this very hall receiving my degree and then my honours degree. So it brings back great memories, and it's an enormous privilege to graduate from this university. Graduates, no doubt you are very excited by this occasion, but I expect you also have an element of trepidation about where your careers will take you. You probably have a good idea of your next step. It might be a job coming up, more study, for example. But either way, your degree at the University of Adelaide has positioned you extremely well. Firstly, you are graduating from one of the top universities in Australia, and indeed one of the top 1% of universities in the world by one of the major international rankings. The second reason you're poised for a very rewarding career is your choice of education in your fields of engineering, computer sciences and maths. It's estimated, for example, that scientific and technological advances have produced over half of all Australian and US economic growth in the last 50 years. That's an enormous contribution. and your fields of engineering, maths and computer science are particularly in demand. And this trend is only going to continue. It's also apparent that 75% of the fastest growing occupations are now going to require the kinds of skills that you bring. So where will your career path ultimately take you? Have a think about it. I think with some confidence I'd predict you probably don't know. And you don't know for very exciting reasons, because that career probably doesn't exist at this point. Most certainly mine wasn't. I graduated with an agricultural science degree from this university. I couldn't possibly have imagined that one day I would found and set up a biotechnology company, because the biotechnology industry didn't exist at that point. And so it might be for you. I hope so. As Chief Scientist for South Australia, I spend a lot of my time thinking about where the jobs of the future lie, because I want to make sure that we can train our graduates in those appropriate areas. And let me give you some examples of where your background may take you. Quantum computing. Some of you may well be involved in that already. But over the last 10 years, developments in information technologies are going to have been and will be transformational over the next period. Quantum computing is going to revolutionise the speed at which we process data. But it's also going to create a lot of risks, so that not only can you process data, but people can hack into things much more easily. So cybersecurity is another huge area of growth that's going to be coming up. We all know about drones. You probably, with some reluctance, think, are we going to have these things overhead every day of the week? Well, over the next 5 years, unmanned vehicles are going to generate over $13 billion in economic activity and 30,000 plus new manufacturing jobs in the US alone. It's a big opportunity for Australia, and I hope you can participate in some part. 3D printing, which we now even have in our primary schools, or also called additive manufacturing, but it's predicted to be bigger than the internet. There's already talk and have been examples of 3D printing of foods, hamburgers. That doesn't quite appeal to me, but still maybe that'll come. Robotics is clearly another area, robotics in everything, whether or not it's automation in industry, servicing you in the home, servicing you in the business. And energy storage, a huge revolution going in there. We are already transitioning from national to regional and to microgrids. And the houses of the future, I think even probably within 10 years or so, we can predict will be independent of the grid. So don't limit your thinking to current career options. Many of them are not there yet. They are just a few examples. So in closing, I'd like to congratulate all of today's graduates. As Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Thank you.
Thanks. On behalf of the graduates and their families attending together, I would like to thank Dr. Lee Anna Reid for her stimulating and inspiring address. We are honored that you have taken the time to join us on today's special ceremony to share with us your thoughts and experiences. Your words of encouragement and advice are greatly appreciated. They remind us that education places upon each of us an enduring responsibility to make the best possible use of our talents and to contribute to the betterment of society in whatever way we can. Please join me in once again thanking Dr. Lee Anna Reid. Thanks.
I will now receive the candidates for degrees. I call on the Deputy Vice-Chancellor.
Deputy Chancellor, I, Professor Mike Brooks, Deputy Vice-Chancellor of the University of Adelaide, certify to you and the whole university that the graduates who will be presented to you have all fulfilled the conditions prescribed for admission to the award for which they are so presented.
I, Diane Davidson, Deputy Chancellor of the University of Adelaide, by virtue of the power committed to me by the University, confirm that each graduate is admitted to the rank and privileges of a holder of the award in the University of Adelaide for which they are so presented.
Deputy Chancellor, I, Professor John Bynan, present to you the graduates from the Faculty of Engineering, Computer and Mathematical Sciences. To the degree of Bachelor of Mathematical Sciences, Matthew Bernard Begg. Vanessa Grace Glennie, who also receives a Diploma in Languages. Mark Lawrence Prideaux. Bradley William Steventon. Kim Erin Wilkins. To the degree of Bachelor of Mathematical Sciences Advanced, Sean David Barker. Michael Alexander Hallam. Derek Tak Jung Hung. Parsa Kavkani. Daniel Dean Kahn. To the degree of Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences, Edward George Bartels. Sarah Belay, who also receives the Diploma in Languages. Sean Murray Goodger. Wilson Lee. James William Moody. Siu Fan Pang. Rowan Dean Pullen, who also receives the Diploma in Languages. To the degree of Bachelor of Engineering, Kenneth Keegan Kariuki. Jared Paul Littleford. To the degree of Bachelor of Computer Science, Mitchell David Anderson. Yan Kit Chow. Shengping Dai. Daniel John Luke Donofrio. Glenn Robert Fordham. Sian Guo. Daniel John Lavista. Quan Chun Lam. Andrew James Lang. Chiuk Kin Nung. Hayden Jarvis Russell. Marco Philip Savulia. Samantha Schaefer. Chi Shen. Ryan Alexander Smallwood Simpson. Yu Song. To the degree of Bachelor of Computer Science Advanced, Stefan Giangiuliani. Kan Mai Lee. Ryan James Marker. Andrew Pham. Georgie Tugai. To the degree of Bachelor of Engineering with Honours, Matthew James Gilmore. Junior Tae Juin Hao. Vincent Se Him Lau, who also receives the Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences. Stephen John Fenny. Michael Allen Stimson. Simon Jason Siakinas, who also receives the Bachelor of Science. To the Honours degree of Bachelor of Engineering, Daniel Anthony Alexandridis. Henry James Atkins. Timothy Philip Atkinson. Xing Chiong Ao. Francis Paul Baliki Karelia. John Michael Babadimas. Vladimir Bajcechik. Ryan John Barber. James David Bass. Tristan Trent Beasley. Adam James Begg. Akriti Bandari. Siddharth Shushant Bhattacharya. Jackson Tyler Booth. Gerard Henry Bradshaw, who also receives the Bachelor of Finance. Kar Kit Chan. Yifu James Chen. Niloy Chowdhury, who also receives the Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences. Yu Nang Chung. Jake Thomas Clancy. Isaac Lachlan Cooper. Baden Kaur. Jack Douglas Craig. Zoran Kukovic, who also receives the Bachelor of Economics. Scott Christopher Cutler. Aaron Duke Davis. Athena Jacqueline Dorr. Ruben Martin de Vries. Oliver Robert Dell. Adrian James Dinardo. Chen Du. Oscar Frederick Evans. Peter Robert Fisher. Sean James Fitzgerald. Fangzi Fu. Raymond Shea Hua Fung. John Wentworth Furness, who also receives the Bachelor of Science. Rafael Emmanuel Garcia. Joaquim Gaspar. Margaret May Gahan. Kiri Nicole Gibbons. Alistair Douglas Gigney. Thomas Robert Goddard. Scott Michael Golding. Theolan Govender. Jamie Allen Grafton, who also receives the Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences. Yanan Guo. Ryan Halliburton. Kyle Harding. Daniel Robert Haynes. Elliot Hewish. Ben Richard Hindle. Helen May Hobbs, who also receives the Bachelor of Economics. Khan Marco Kin Sum Hui, who also receives the Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences. Hua Zhen Huang. Patrick John Hull. Glenn Michael Humphreys. Andrew Huang Hai Huin, who also receives the Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences. Mei Huin. Manhim Khan. Marco Julian Kardash. Da Kay. Bilal Khan. Patrick Craig Kirwan, who also receives the Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences. Andrew James Kite. Philip Newport Kais. Thomas Newport Kais. Samuel Christian Laitala. Carmel Rose Larkin. Hao E. Law. Lee Wun Long. Yu Lei. Zhang Yu Lei. Yingzhong Liao. Jamie Yukon Liu, who also receives the Bachelor of Finance. Zhuang Liu. Joshua Ming Eun Lo. Luan Kin Vuong Vu. Hai Meng Ma. Jack Michael Madaris, who also receives the Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences. Jared Scott McLaughlin. William George Miholos. Dimitri Mitakidis. Samuel Peter Mitchell. Matthew Brett Morgan. Kyriaki Georgia Morias. Thomas Headley Moyle. Eric Rinaldi Mohamed Reza. Viven Naidu. Hoi Ki Ung. Andrew Nguyen. Daniel Nguyen. Tri Nguyen Hai. Nguyen Hoang Tan. Ninh Hui Dang Khoa. Min Kang Nguyen. Sophie Ann Nichols. Bradley Graham Nichol, who also receives the Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences. Andrew Ofresio, who also receives the Diploma in Languages. Catherine Nwala O'Neill. Guy Jonathan Page. John Paitaridis. Jodie Allison Palmer. Nathan Panella. Sun Woong Park. Mohit Patta. Adam John Pattingale. Adam William Pedler. David Puong. Scott Dale Poland, who also receives the Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences. Matthew John Pike. Mohammed Adil Qayyum. Natasha Jamie Ryan, who also receives the Bachelor of Economics. Zhao Peng Run. Ishtvan Anthony Revish. Benjamin Wayne Riches. Harry Ricks, who also receives the Bachelor of Science. Sebastian Roshi. Richard Thomas Rouse. Yolanda Zhao Rong Sam, who also receives the Bachelor of Finance. Alessandro Domenico Scarpantoni. Bradley Dean Scott. Izzat Amir Sharul Yazid. Lachlan Thomas Shanks, who also receives the Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences. Cody Glenn Sharrod. Kieran James John Sheehan. Jonathan David Sheldrick, who also receives the Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences. Hao Sheng. Anthony Peter Silvestri. Isaac Linton Simeonato. Jacob Alexander Simeonato. Barbara Solomos. Lachlan John Simmons, who also receives the Bachelor of Finance. Alexander Tam, who also receives the Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences. Matthew David Tamlin. Darren Yik-Shern Tan. Siu Yi Tan. Tan Sui Wei. Lee Chan Ti. Madeline Eve Tonkin. Tran Hui Thong. Stanley Tran. Paul Niem Tran. Adam Eric Trimper. Daniel Joseph Valana, who also receives the Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences. Bradley Noel Venner. Nguyen Vuong Vo. Zhao Chen Wang. Melissa Mary Weston. Benjamin Jared White. Ashana Sandalu Wijasinghe. Jessica Inda Willis. Melody Wong. Wong Tian Yu. Callum Jack Oliver Woodward. Alexander John Wright. Lin Cheng Wu. Kun Zhu. Hanyang Yao. Nathan Scott Young, who also receives the Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences. Zihao Zhao. Tianyue Zhu. Mohammed Hazik Zubaidi. To the honours degree of Bachelor of Engineering and Bachelor of Science, Nicholas Guy Eads. To the honours degree of Bachelor of Engineering and Bachelor of Arts, Thomas Christopher Heinrich. To the honours degree of Bachelor of Computer Science, Lo Jungjian Marcus Un. To the degree of Master of Software Engineering, Min Dang. Bingzhu Jin. Ji Wang. Yi Wei. Atbin Yagane. Hao Zhang. To the degree of Master of Science, Petroleum Geoscience, Chen Yu. To the degree of Master of Petroleum Engineering, Zera Mariam Gerges Gumbot. To the degree of Master of Marine Engineering, Ryan Wolford Faulkner. Thomas James McGovern. Nathan Ashley Totto. To the degree of Master of Geostatistics, Jared Michael Broom. To the degree of Master of Computing and Innovation, Gopi Krishan Imada Batuni. Jialiang Lin. Yawen Lo. Jiaoyun Ning. Zijun Wu. Futao Yu. Yun Zhang. Qi Zhu. To the degree of Master of Computer Science, Yu Gu. Zhao Rong Liang. Guo Dung Tan. Ji Young. Zhen Zhu. To the degree of Master of Engineering Mechanical, Vahid Bhakti. Yasaman Ebadati. Yuan Gao. Lanbo Lai. Tejaswi Lavetti. Xin Young Chan. Rishinath Venugopal. Tianhu Shaw. Shaw Yang. Jiaming Zhang. To the degree of Master of Engineering Mechatronic, Fengling Chen. To the degree of Master of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Clustering of Proteomics Imaging Mass Spectrometry Data, Annie Conway. For a thesis entitled Einstein and Conformally Einstein Bi-Invariant Semi-Riemannian Metrics, Kelly Lee Francis State. For a thesis entitled Privacy-Preserving Neighborhood-Based Collaborative Filtering Recommendation Algorithms, Ji Gon Lu. For a thesis entitled Managing Uncertainty in RFID-Based Tracking Applications, Rangamati Sankar Kumar. To the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, For a thesis entitled Analytical Modelling of Two-Phase Multi-Component Flow in Porous Media with Dissipative and Non-Equilibrium Effects, Sarah Bozjani. For a thesis entitled Impact Sedimentation of the Tukunuka and Talundilli Marine Impact Structures, Australia, an impact reservoir generated by cratering in a petroleum basin, Catherine Ann Braun. For a thesis entitled Multiscale Modelling of Continuum and Discrete Dynamics in Materials with Complicated Microstructure, Chen Chen. For a thesis entitled Harnessing Hydrokinetic Energy from Vortex-Induced Vibration, Javad Faroqi Derek Shande. For a thesis entitled Students' Experiences of Mathematics and How They Affect Further Engagement with Mathematics, Patrick Vutsvov-Korbel. For a thesis entitled Modeling Hydrogen Storage in Novel Nanomaterials, Wei Xian Lin. For a thesis entitled An Adaptive Provenance Collection Architecture in Scientific Workflow Systems, Mehdi Sarikani. For a thesis entitled Statistical Analysis of Proteomic Mass Spectrometry Data for the Identification of Biomarkers and Disease Diagnosis, Time and Everly Stanford. For a thesis entitled Extensional and Surface Tension-Driven Fluid Flows in Microstructured Optical Fiber Fabrication, Hayden Tronoli. For a thesis entitled Optimization of Geothermal Systems, Josephine Judith Varney. And for a thesis entitled Very Steep Solitary Waves in Two-Dimensional Free Surface Flow, Stephen Wade. Deputy Chancellor, this now concludes the presentation of graduates.
Deputy Chancellor, every year the university presents university medals to acknowledge the most outstanding graduates in each faculty who have completed a University of Adelaide bachelor's degree with honours or bachelor's degree of at least 4 years duration. The university medals are awarded to them for their consistent, outstanding performance across the whole of their undergraduate studies. I, Professor Mike Brooks, Deputy Vice-Chancellor of the University of Adelaide, present to you the winners of the 2015 University Medal from the Faculty of Engineering, Mathematical and Computer Sciences. Timothy Philip Atkinson. Thomas Craig Bettison. And Benjamin Jared White. Deputy Chancellor, The University Master by Research medals are awarded to graduates who have completed outstanding research at master's level. This award is the premier award for Master by Research candidates at the University. I, Professor Mike Brooks, Deputy Vice-Chancellor of the University of Adelaide, present to you the winner of the 2015 University Master by Research Medal. For research in the field of computer science, Jiegong Liu. Deputy Chancellor, University Doctoral Research Medals are awarded to graduates who have completed outstanding research at doctoral level. This award is the premier award for doctoral candidates at the University. I, Professor Mike Brooks, Deputy Vice-Chancellor of the University of Adelaide, present to you the winner of the 2015 University Doctoral Research Medal. For research in the field of computer science, Mohammad Reza Bonyadi.
It's somewhat overwhelming, isn't it, when you look at the achievements of this group of people here today. And again, I offer my heartiest and deepest congratulations, not only for the academic achievements, but the persistence over the years, often balanced with other things in your lives that have enabled you to get to today. So well done, all of you. And you know, as graduates now, you join about 150,000 other graduates from the University of Adelaide who are scattered through 80 countries or so throughout the world. And as one of our important alumni, we really hope that you will stay in touch with us. It's been our honour to have you here studying with us. If you are leaving the university to enter employment outside, overseas, please try to stay in touch. There is no excuse these days with so much technological ability to find people, so if you don't stay in touch, we'll find you. You are all important to us, each one of you, and we want you to leave here knowing that you have added something to our lives as we hope the university has added to yours. I would like again to thank Dr. Lee Anna Reid for her address to us today. And I'm sure you would agree that she was inspiring and a wonderful role model for all of us. I'd also like to thank our most distinguished mace bearer for his attentions today. And lastly, before I close, I would like the graduates to stay seated and the rest of the audience please to stand while we congratulate them all as a group. Thank you. And lastly, would you stay standing, and the rest of you, please rise for the academic recession. And with that, I declare this congregation of the University of Adelaide adjourned. Thank you and goodbye.